Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about American politics, and I want to talk about it through a quote from one of Brandon Sanderson's Wheel of Time character. All right, so here's the quote. It's Lan, and he is a warder of the Aes Sedai. Specifically, he wards Moraine. Okay, and so he says in the Wheel of Time series, he says, duty is heavier than a mountain. Death is lighter than a feather. All right. I want to talk about this. Okay, so what's this got to do with politics? Well, our politics are highly structured to highlight patterns for life, okay? And to some extent, death. What do you mean death? What do you mean politics highlights death? Well, first of all, life, absolutely. It's not debatable. Where does this structure go for life, right? So for life, it is very much you have this situation where you're looking at it and you're like, hey, what exactly is happening here? And marriage, the marriage and children. The government will literally reward you for getting married and for having children. It's like the number one tax law benefit. It's very significant. It's a very, very real thing, right? These tax law issues is very significant. It's just extremely real and extremely prominent, right? It's extremely real, extremely prominent. All right, so the government gets highly involved in encouraging certain patterns for life. It also encourages patterns for death. Right now, our estate taxes are very, very forgiving. If you prepare for your death, you can give a lot of your estate to your children, and you can do it extremely without significant tax punishment, right? All right, okay. So I think Land's statement. Let's hear it again. Duty is heavier than a mountain. Death is lighter than a feather. Now, why is he saying this? Well, he protects Moraine, okay? And he has to take on incredible dangers in order to do this, in order to protect Moraine. What kind of dangers does he have to take? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Like, what kind of dangers does he have to deal with? Very significant, very major dangers. Okay, like it's for realsies. Like, this is a definite thing. Okay, and you're like, okay, tell me. All right, tell me again. What is actually happening with this? So what he's saying is he's not afraid of death. He's not afraid to die, because if he dies, even attempting to ward, to protect Moraine, to serve the Aes Sedai, then he has done two things. One, he spent his life serving the Aes Sedai, and then he spent his death serving the Aes Sedai. Okay, so what he's saying. So here, and this is where we land. In America, we talk about useful life all the time, and our politics are aimed toward it. Right? We want our taxes, our policies, and our laws to reward the right life choices and to punish the wrong life choices, right? But we don't do this with death. We have some gestures toward it, like the estate thing. But one of the things that I think we really need to start thinking about is useful death. We don't even have, I want to be able to talk about it, right? We don't even have a structure to talk about useful death, okay? So let's talk about useful death. What is this? So one of the things is we are living way too long now, right? Back a long time ago, people died in the saddle. They died working, right? In 1900, you died when you were 40 years old generally, okay? Today, you die when you're 80. We have doubled the lifespan of humans in literally 1 century. That's astonishing, right? And now what's happening is 80, 90, 100 years old, right? People are dying. And the deaths they die are terrible and useless, right? They just die in a bed. They're not serving anybody. sucking up massive amounts of resources. They're really blessing nobody with their presence. Like we're living, 20 years past a useful age, very, very frequently, right? And I think we need to start to have a conversation about what does it mean to have a useful death. Now, and the ramifications are massive. I'll give you one today, all right? I think the way we have the U.S. military structured is completely wrong. We go out and we get the best young men and young women we can, and we send them away to get murdered. What sense does that make, right? Don't take another 18-year-old, take 80-year-olds. They're like, I don't know if they'll be able to run down the hill that fast, will they? Well, first of all, what's it matter if they don't? Like, they're going to die soon anyway, right? Why not give them a chance to have a useful death on the battlefield, right? And by the way, I don't want to change the law and get, women end up getting killed. Actually, right now, women are allowed to join the military, but they're not required, whereas men are. Like I was required to sign up for selective service, right? And right now, I think we're still in an age where women are absolutely not required to register for the draft, right? So, and I don't want to change that. I'm just saying. So let's just start this conversation with useful deaths for men. We don't even have a structure to discuss this, right? And we need it. We need a structure to discuss useful deaths for men. Every 60, 70, 80, 90, 100-year-old man should be sent immediately, right? At minimum, should be allowed to volunteer and say, I would like to go over and defend the Ukrainians. That's a useful death. And when they do, their entire town should have a parade. Send them off one by one, right? And then celebrate their death when they die, right? And how many Vladimir Putin thugs did you take out on the way? Have your story told. That's a useful death. We need to completely change the way we talk about death in America, and we need to start to structure taxes, laws, and policies to reward and enable and reward useful deaths. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.